Okay.
And then he became general manager.
Yeah,
He got Naslund.
Over the course of how many years was he with the organization?
That I don't know.
Because let's just say it was over 4 years. That's a lot more time, especially if you're being in. Imagine Dave Nonis. For 4 years, he's been with Brian Burke. If Burke leaves and then Nonis is now the general manager for another 4 years, that means he has 8 years to get it, to really know the franchise. Whereas if Brian Burke had a chance like that, really he hasn't had 4 years. Brian Burke has not had 4 years.
Brian Burke won the Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in his second year.
Yes,
and
that's because everything was...
he didn't... You're getting fed up.
No.
Granted, he didn't take Perry and Getzlaf, but he made the necessary moves. He shipped out Fedorov. He brought in Beauchemin. He made Jaguar the number one guy. They had Brizgalov in the waiting.
Doesn't that sound really, really familiar? He brought in Jaguar, signed Beauchemin. Sounds pretty familiar to me. Listen.
Then why aren't we the Anaheim Mighty Ducks?
Because listen. Our farm system, blows. And I say our because, we live in the GTA, but the Leafs farm system has been pretty me personally, I think that the farm system has been the worst in the NHL for the last 15 years. At least the 15 years.
Okay.
I know, Cabriolet, 96, I believe, or something like that, he was drafted. Can you think of any other draft pick since Cabriolet that's really made a huge impact on the team? That's a Leafs draft pick?
Not for a substantial amount of time, no.
Okay. And now that may seem...
But shouldn't Burke come in and do that?
It may seem trivial because it's, you could trade for players, you could sign players, you don't necessarily need to draft them. But the thing with at least Anaheim, they draft well. They have been drafting very well. And that really helps because that means the general manager coming in has really a lot to work with. It's pretty easy.
But Judge, I'm not talking about beforehand. On Burke's 4 years being here, has it been progress?
Towards
being competitive.
There are goals. Yes, I think there has been progress. To being competitive, yes. I think the Leafs have become more competitive every single year. You don't think so?
I think when Reimer came up, he really turned the tide, and then last year they started off 4-0-1.
No. Okay.
And it looked like hold on. Let me get my point.
Don't say anything bad about Reimer.
No, I'm not.
That's stupid.
He came in, he played well.
Yeah.
Last year they started 4-0-1, and then it blew up in their face. They never recovered.
What blew up in their face?
Gianta hitting Reimer.
And
then Gustafsson coming in.
You're right.
Gustafsson came in, played well though, who was another Burke signing. But Gustafsson was supposed to be the monster, the guy that was going to take them.
Andrew, please listen.
How can you sit here and tell me there's been progress?
There was progress.
How can you sit here and tell me there's been progress when we haven't played a single playoff game since the last collective bargaining
What measures
agreement?
Progress? How many games you win? How many players you have?
Playoffs, wins, championships.
Okay.
Show me that you're real.
How many years has it been since they were in the playoffs? 7,
2004.
8? Something like that. 7 or 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're going to go with what Burke, how long Burke has been here, we're writing off the first year because we didn't have enough players to make the playoffs. Then you go into the second year, and he's making trades, he's making moves. He gets
It's not a lack of trying. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
there was
where's the production?
Production? What production? He has players like Kessel is 22.
They're not even 500. My point is, he's made these promises saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're still at square one.
The only criticism I have, which supports your view on the progress.
Thank you.
On the progress issue would be that, I honestly think there's progress, but has it been hindered? Oh, yes. And it's been hindered by Brian Burke.
There's been progress in the fact that they've replenished the farm. But Toronto Maple Leaf fans don't care about the farm team. Toronto
with
Maple Leaf
players,
fans
there's
don't
been
care.
progress.
Again, Toronto Maple Leaf fans don't care about the Marlies.
Lupul and Kessel as a line. Never mind the center, because we all know that they don't have a center.
Is Joffrey Lupul a number one left winger? Is he a number one left winger in this league on most teams? No, he's a number one.
Who's the number one left winger?
He's a number one. Ilya Kovalchuk, Zach Parise.
Ilya Kovalchuk.
Yes. Can you put Joffrey Lupul and Ilya Kovalchuk in the same breath?
Okay, you show me what
Joffrey
teams
Lupul
besides
is a
the
number.
one that...
Joffrey Lupul is a number one winger by default. Phil Kessel is a number one right winger. Tyler Bozak is a number 3 or a number 4 on a good team.
Right.
Tyler Bozak's a number 1. That's my point.
So if that's your point,
my point is he has not been He's been productive with the farm. He has not been productive with the big club. I'm still waiting.
Isn't that what you want,
I'm
though?
still waiting. No, I don't.
Why not?
I want to win now. Leaf
can't
fans
win
want to
now.
win now.
There's no way for you to win now. Not in the NHL, not in the cap system.
He's had 4 years to make it happen, and he hasn't made it happen.
How? With what? Who's he going to trade for with the scraps that he has? Who? Tell me. I want to know. I'm curious.
They brought in this big bad Brian Burke to do something, and he hasn't done anything.
Okay, fine. You're Brian Burke. What would have you done in the last 4 years, trade-wise?
Get me a number one center.
How?
Sign me a number one center.
How?
Get me Brad Richards.
Brad Richards?
Get me somebody.
For what he got paid?
Maybe.
Are you insane?
Maybe don't mortgage the farm for Phil Kessel. Maybe draft Tyler Seguin.
Okay, at that
and
point.
And then Nazem Kadri, and then all of a sudden you're looking good up the middle.
Okay.
And then there's not as much pressure on Kadri.
Okay, listen.
There's many different ways you can go with that.
This is his. Like, I'm sorry. I know he was with Vancouver.
We need to move on to MLB winter meetings, but go on.
I'm gonna finish this little argument by saying that
I just can't believe you said there's progress. I know
there has been progress.
You're a hardcore fan. You love the Marlies. Don't get me wrong. I want to see the Marlies succeed too. But your job's not to build the Marlies. Your job is to build the big club. And Joffrey Lupul's he's a good number 2 left winger. And if your job's to bring in Van Riemsdyk and eventually make him the number 1, then fine. But Joffrey Lupul, your argument is Joffrey Lupul's a number 1 left winger by default. Tyler Bozak's a number 1 left winger by default.
Then what do you do with the young guys like Gardner when they want new contracts? If you're going to sign like $15 million
that's where you manage your contracts properly. You don't bring them up early and burn a level of their entry.
Because if you're signing Brad Richards to like a $10 million
How does Jake Gardner affect Brad Richards?
In 2 years he will be when Jake Gardner wants to get paid $7 million a year for being the best defenseman.
When I sign Jake Gardner, when I use his 3-4 years of entry level ability, and then all of a sudden, okay, Jake Gardner, yeah, you're up for contract. Oh, Brad Richards only has 4 years left on his.
Why? You think he's going to sign a 5-year contract? I don't think so.
I'm just saying, and I know there's a lot of fans that would agree that Brian Burke has done more negative than positive.
I will tell you, I will give you one thing. When it comes to signing big-time free agents, I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how many years they want. You give them the money, and you give them the term, because they are superstars, and that is the point.
We need a number 1 center, and he showed interest in Brad Richards. You didn't get him, okay.
No one wants to go to the Leafs.
So what are you going to do? You're going to make me happy by bringing in Tim Connolly?
That was a dumb
It's like
move.
when I see Alex Anthopoulos of the Blue Jays. Is he going to overpay the market for Zach Greinke?
Would you want them to?
Probably not. But I want a starting pitcher. So what does Alex Anthopoulos go out and do? He goes out and he gets Burley and Johnson.
Okay, so the winter meetings are this week. So what do you think? What do you think Alex Anthopoulos is going to do?
Why couldn't Burke go out and get Jordan Staal? Big center. Why?
I don't know. I love Jordan Staal. I think he would be perfect for the Leafs. Number 1 center. There you go.
I'm a little skeptical on Jordan Staal. He really hasn't shown. He's shown spurts, but he's been on the third line.
He's been on the third line on Pittsburgh, was pretty much one of the best teams in the league. So if the Jays, go into these winter meetings, I don't think they're going to do anything. But if Alex Anthopoulos, starts knocking on people's doors, making calls and asking around, who do you think they have a chance of signing if they want to sign anyone?
You need free agency. The free agents have earned their ability to be free agents. They want to get paid. The Leafs are a big market. You should pay. And Burke hasn't. He's traded for Phaneuf. He made a questionable deal for Kessel. You can go either way on that.
But what about Anthopoulos? The Leafs.
Are we
listen,
on MLB winter meetings
Yes,
now?
we are. We're talking
All
about
right,
MLB.
see you later, Leafs.
No more Leafs. This is getting too heated. So, who, assuming Anthopoulos has a chance, do they have a chance to get if he's asking around? Like, you got Josh Hamilton, Zach Greinke, and really, I mean, those are the superstar free agents that are out there. Those are the only two that I would think the Jays would be interested
They're
in.
not going to get Josh Hamilton. And Zach Greinke's going to want over
Well,
$20 million a year.
Why do you say that?
Because
I know why, but
Josh Hamilton's going to want a boatload of money, and is he worth the money, and is he worth the risk?
Yeah,
He's
I know.
had drug problems. You don't know how he's going to be in a new market. It's beneficial for Josh Hamilton to stay in Texas.